Okay, the first, whoa, getting crazy already. The first situation you found that was continuous was what number? Number 2, right? Why was it continuous again? Because it's connected. Okay, so that means we have to figure out our domain and range from that. I need you to find the color that you designated for domain. I really need my pen to work, so I'm going to hope that it starts working here in a second. So grab that color. And what we already set up is the 2 less than signs, and we put what in the middle? X. Why? Why did we put X in the middle? Because domain is X. Oh, it worked for just a second. Why does it hate me so much? I hate the other pen. Sorry, I'm throwing a fit. Okay. So, domain I designated as yellow. Okay? But here's what I need y'all to talk to me about. Domain is what letters? X. My X. So, if I go look at my X-axis up here. Where is my X-axis? It works from where to where? Left to right. Where would be my littlest X's? So on the left side of your graph, I want you to start coloring till you hit the graph. Till you hit something on the graph. With your color. What do you hit? No, be careful. You hit an arrow. What does an arrow mean? Not continuous. It means it just keeps going. So on that left side of your domain, because you colored the left side of your graph, you are going to put a KG. Because the left side of my graph kept going. Pretty simple? Okay, so now take your domain color and color the right side of your graph until you hit something on the line. My domain color is yellow. So I'm using yellow on the left side and then yellow on the right side. So on the right side, when you color it in, what do you hit again? Another arrow. So what are you going to put on the right side of your inequality? KG for keeps going. Now here's my question. If this tells me I can have any number to the left of my number line because it just keeps going, and then it also tells me I can have any number to the right of my number line because it just keeps going. How many numbers does that mean I have? A lot. All of them, right? Ooh. So how do we represent all real numbers? So guess what my domain is? Fancy R, all real numbers. Okay, so let's go to the next one because we're going to do all of our domains first. Sound good? So go to number 4. Remember, we set it up with 2 less than signs and an X in the middle of them. Because this means I've got to find the left side first and then the right side. We always go find our littlest numbers first, which would be on the left side of the graph. So take your color, color in the left side of the graph. Now be careful, we're working on the what axis? The domains, the X's, right? So that means I need to take this dot and I need to move it down to my x-axis. Where would that be x-wise? 0. So that's the first point I put in for my inequality. Now question, is it touching that number? Is it touching a 0? Did it touch 0 right here? What would be this ordered pair, guys? No, what would be the ordered pair? So question, did it touch 0 as an x? Yes, if it touched 0 as an x, you've also got to let it touch it, include it. It's got to be equal to it. So you've got to underline your sign. You okay with that? Okay, so let's go to the right side of my graph. Color, 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 color. Oh. Bring that spot down to your x-axis. Where would that be? Okay, so if it's at 9, Did it touch 9 somewhere? Yes, so what do I need to do with that sign? Underline it. And here's what I want y'all to see. If I were to connect these dots, because my X is in between it, it tells me my X can be from 0 to 9. Is that what my inequality says? Then that's exactly what I need. Are we good there? Okay, let's look at the next one. Take your color. Color in what side first? The left side. Okay, now move that dot up to the x-axis. Where is that at? Be careful, on the x-axis. -3. Did my circle go through a point at -3 somewhere? Yes, so what do I need to do with the sign? Underline it. How do y'all feel about this so far? Good. What's confusing you? Let's see if we can fix it now. So pretty much what this is doing is it's just, I see it as a wall. I'm bringing in a wall to the left side of my graph to figure out where it's at, and then I'm bringing in a wall to the right side of my graph to figure out where it's at. So that then I have a number line created for my mind. Okay? If you don't want to use the highlighters, you do not have to use the highlighters. This is just something that I've noticed it helps the vast majority of my kiddos. Okay? Doesn't help everyone, but it can help some. So, on the right side, what do? Oh, color. Color. Okay, until I hit the graph, and I move that spot up to my x-axis. Where is it at? -5? +5. Is there an ordered pair that goes through 5 somewhere? Yes, so what do I need to do? Underline it. But here's the cool thing. If I were to connect those dots on the x-axis, where does it tell me my x can be between? -3 all the way to 5, which is perfect because this line goes from -3 all the way to 5 somewhere. Does everybody understand what I'm doing? Yes, sir. So like, for example, I brought this dot, since this was the furthest part of my circle, I brought that dot here to the x-axis, since I'm doing domains. This dot right here was about as far out as my circle went, so I brought that up to the x-axis, wherever it was. Okay, so now next one that was continuous. Let's go to the left side first. Color. Ooh, this is a different type of circle. It's open, which means I don't what? I don't underline it. But I can still bring that circle down to my x-axis. Would you agree? And where would that circle be? At -5. So -5 is my first number I write. But remember, it was an open circle. So do I close up my sign? No, I leave it where it's at. Okay, then I take the right side of my graph and I color. And then I bring that dot to my x-axis. It's open. At what number? 4. If I connected these dots, it tells me my x can be anywhere between -5 to 4, but they're open circles, so it can't be -5 or 4. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, let's go do the next page. Domain, we're working on our x-axis from what side to what side? Left to right. So let's go color the left side first. Till I hit my line. I bring that dot up to the what? X-axis, and where is it at? -4. Is it open or closed? Open, so do I do anything to my sign? Nope. Okay, on the right side of my graph, when I color, what in the world do I run into? An arrow. Do me a favor. Bring that arrow down to your x-axis, like I just did with mine. But down here, what do I write when I see an arrow? KG, right? Now connect your open circle to your arrow. What does that tell you on a number line? What does this tell you? If you were to write an inequality for this guy, what would you say? We would need a variable first. X is what? Greater than -4. Do me a favor. If you look at just this side, and we were to put it in the order that it should be, what would it say? Does everybody see where this comes from? Remember how I told you last unit, you always have to have your variable, then your sign, then your number? So this is still going to play into that effect, okay? But if you pay attention to up here, y'all are great at number lines. This was not hard for y'all. You told me X has to be greater than -4. Well, that's ultimately what your domain is going to say as well, okay? So make sure if it's backwards, you flip it to be the right way. Everybody okay with that? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you. Okay? Let's look at number 8. Left side. Strong side. Nobody said it. Nobody else like that movie? Remember the Titans. Okay, so if I bring my arrow down, what does an arrow tell me? KG. So on the left side, I ran into an arrow. On the right side, what do I run into? An arrow. So if I bring that down to my x-axis, let's look at this once again. If I connect my two arrows, what does it tell me about my numbers? It keeps going in which direction? Bless you. Where does it keep going? To the left towards all my negative numbers. But it also goes towards all my, so how many numbers are there? All real numbers. Remember, if KG is on both sides, it means all real numbers. Well, you're supposed to use one color at a time. X's are your blues. Okay, number 9, because you're going to get super confused when we start range. Number 9. On my left side, what do I run into? Open circle at what number? -5. So what do I do with my sign? Nothing. Okay, what about the right side of my graph? Closed circle at what number? 7. Okay, it's closed, so what do I do with that sign? Underline it. So all this number line tells me is my x can be from -5, but it can't include it, all the way to what? 7, and it can include 7. Does everybody see the difference? Are we okay with that? Okay, let's do the last 2. There's only 2 more. On the left side, use your highlighter and color. That's fine. What number is this at? Is it open or closed? Okay, so close up your sign. Then what do I do? Go to the right side. What number is it at? -8? +8. Good job. Is it open or closed? Goodness gracious. Sorry, guys. It won't let me color in that circle. There we go. Colored it in. And then, boom. Okay, so you told me 8 here. Close up my circle. And what that tells me is my x can be any number from what to what? -6 to +8. Okay, now let's go ahead and skip 11. We're going to come back to 11 because it's a little different. It's a word problem. We can save that for the end. Let's go do our ranges. Well, we got to talk about this because I got to make sure you understand what's going on. Okay? Ranges are what axis? The y-axis. So on the y-axis, Where are my littlest numbers? At the bottom. So you're going to take your highlighter and you're going to highlight from the bottom. With your range color, you highlight from the bottom. But what do you run into on the bottom of your graph? An arrow. So on your y-axis, you would put an arrow. Obviously, it's at the bottom, so it's going to point down. Okay? Where your biggest y is going to be? At the top. At the top of your graph, when you color it in, what do you run into? Okay? So I'm going to put kg here. If kg is on both sides, what does that mean? All real numbers, because it keeps going to the bottom of my y-axis, which would be all negative numbers. And then it also keeps going to the top of my y-axis, which is all the positive numbers. So if it's all the negative and all the positive, it's all real numbers. Are we okay with that? Okay, let's go do number 4. If you want to work ahead of me and you feel like you're confident, go ahead. Remember, we're doing the y's though, so where do I start? At the bottom. And you go till you run into the graph. Well, I ran into the graph pretty quickly right here. I'm going to move that little dot over to my y-axis though. So where's that little dot at? Where's the bottom of my graph at? If I move the bottom of my graph to my y-axis, where is it at? 0. Do I have an ordered pair that would have touched 0? Yes. So what do I do with my sign? Underline it. Now do me a favor. Highlight the top of your graph till you touch something. And you move that over to the what? Y-axis. Good. Okay. And where's that at? Say with confidence. 8. Does it touch something up at 8? Yes, because this ordered pair would have been 9, 8, which 8 is my y's. Therefore, what do I do with my sign? Underline it. Now look, if you were to flip this sideways, right, and connect the 2 blue dots, it tells me my y is going to go from the bottom, which is at 0, all the way to 9. So that's what my, is it 9? 0 to 8. So that's what my 2 numbers should be, from 0 to 8. Are we okay with that? Yes or no? Okay. Look at number 5. Where do I start at for range? The bottom. I'm going to move the bottom of my graph over to my y-axis. Where is that at? Nope, your y's. Count on your y's. Count on your y-axis, guys. -7. It's already at -7. There's a spot that touched -7. Okay, now go to, what, buddy? Because we're talking about our y-axis. We're talking about our ranges, which are our y's, not our x's. That's why I don't really want you to work ahead yet. Okay? So now go to the top of your graph and color. Bring that over to your y-axis. And where's that blue dot? +5. Now, what this tells me is at the bottom of my graph, I'm at what number? -7 all the way up to 5 could be my y's. Do you see that? So your y's work bottom to top. Your x's work left to right. Okay? Look at your domain, your range on the next one. Start at the bottom of your graph. Color, 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 color. Ooh. Move that over to your y-axis. Where's that at? -3. Is it touching something? Yes, so we're going to close up that sign. Now go to the top of your graph and color in. What do you see? They're open circles, but they're both at the same point. And what number is that at? 6. Do I have to close up that sign? No, because they were open circles at that point. Does everybody see that? Okay. Number 7. Whoa, throwing things at me. It's fine. Number 7, bottom of my graph for my range. This one's easy. Where is it at? -10. Is it open or closed? Open, so I don't change my sign. Then go to your top of your graph. Well, that's easy. What do you run into? An arrow, which means KG. So if I were to connect these, what does this tell me? My y has to be anywhere from -10 up. So make sure you only focus on the side that has y in the number. But is this written in the right order? No, so what do I do? Y is greater than what? -10. Look, guys, does it make sense that you said -10 and up? Y would be greater than -10? Does that all make sense to you? Yes or no? Does it? Yes or no, honestly? So look up here for me. Look at how I drew this line. Started at -10 and it goes all the way up. -10 has to be the smallest amount, but I can go greater than -10 all the way to wherever, right? So my inequality needs to say my y has to be greater than what? -10. Everybody got that? Yes or no? Y'all are getting quiet on me, but this is the main, vast majority of the test. So make sure you understand what's going on. Okay? Where do I start? Bottom. What do I hit? -4. Open or closed? It is closed. So what do I have to do with my sign? Close it up. Okay, then go to the top of your graph. What do you run into? Arrows. So what does that mean? KG. But there's only one side with KG, so I focus on the other. Is this written correctly? No. What should it say? Greater than or equal to, because if I were to connect this bottom dot all the way to the top, it would tell me that -4 is my smallest number, but anything bigger than that will work. Are we okay with that? Okay. Look at your next one. Number 9. Where do I start for range? At the bottom. Whoa. At the bottom. What do I run into? What? Open circle at -3. Okay. Then at the top of my graph, what do I run into? Closed circle at where? 5. If I connect them, that means it has to be anywhere from -3 to 5. Can it include any of those numbers? Which ones? Just 5. So make sure you underline the sign that's next to 5. Are we good with that? Okay. Let's do number 10. And then we'll call it quits for today, because we'll do 11 as a word problem next time. Okay? Number 10. Ready? Walk me through it. Okay, and where's my dot at? It's at +2. Is it open or closed? Closed. So make sure you close up your sign. Where's the top of my graph at? +8. And it's closed. So what can my y be? Anywhere from 2 to 8. Is everybody okay with this? Okay, for the remainder of the period, you get to work on your homework. Whatever you don't have done on your homework or your practice ends up being something you have to take home. Okay? It's your 2.3 practice, finishing up what we haven't done already. Yes, sir? So pretty much all you have to do is the continuous graphs of domain and range. That's it.
And what about yeah, I finished that.
Is it completely done with domain and ranges?
Yes, I tried the last one. What about this?
Kalani, we literally just learned domain and range of continuous, so maybe you should take some time to make sure you did it correctly. Okay?